Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to Pastime Picks Podcast. I'm Keith, Vintage Sport Flips.
And I'm Andy.
Andy over there, King of Pennants. So we're going to draft this week our favorite or the best, in our opinion, football.
So excited
nicknames.
for this one. This is my favorite one so far, I feel like.
This was one where it wasn't hard to come up with a list, right? There's so many. We could have done a 30-round draft, I think.
Oh, so, yeah, 100%.
But yeah, so football nicknames we're going to draft. Then we'll have some reselling segments, sports memorabilia segments. Should be a pretty fun show. So let me, Andy, I'm going to get over to the wheel of names so we can figure out who drafts first here. Let me get over there.
The most important part. I think I might have gotten all of them so far.
Yeah. I've never gotten the draft first. It's pretty ridiculous, actually.
Well, we didn't draft the first week, but
that's true. Yeah.
We think we did. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty to go on this. I do have a bit of a strategy on this, so I might. It all depends, kind of on who goes first, I guess. But we'll see. Yeah.
Your strategy has me perplexed because I don't know how you would have a strategy for this, but we'll find out.
Yeah, we will. We certainly will.
All right, I'm gonna click the button here. Let's see who drafts first. We're gonna do the snake draft as usual.
Come on, baby. Come to Papa. And another winner. Love it. Loving it.
That's rigged.
Yeah, it's on your computer, my friend. So, and you rigged it against yourself. So well done.
Andy, I must say, before we even get started with the draft, give me one second.
I don't know.
No, it's not bad. So I think hold on.
Me
and you as Eagles fans.
You and I.
You and I. Yeah, proper grammar there. Good morning, good evening. Good morning. Good evening, BD. How's it going? Andy, as Eagles and Lions fans, I think we had some good news over the weekend. I mean, we both won. Not impressive wins for either team, I don't think. The win is what counts.
Oh, I mean, we played it. Lions played in Minnesota. I'm not getting into that per se. Okay. All right.
We both won. That's what counts. But I will say, as an Eagles fan, I was very happy, and I was waiting for this to happen. And I think it happened earlier in the season, but it definitely happened on Monday night, that we had with the 49ers, for all the bang bang Niner gang people out there, we had the Brock Purdy bubble.
Oh boy.
Officially burst. The Purdy bubble is gone, I think. Andy, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, things have to be pretty clean and good for him to be very effective. Yeah. I mean, I will say, I think the Ravens are head and shoulders above probably almost every team at this point. Like, I don't see too many teams are not. I mean, they're a balanced team. Yeah,
as long as Jackson plays a clean game, they're one of the.
Even that. I mean, they don't. Their running game's strong. Their defense is nasty. Always has been.
Yeah.
And they have some pretty good receivers too. I mean, this is also a Ravens team that doesn't have, arguably, their probably second or third best player in Andrews, and they lost their running back at the beginning of the season too, which is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a great team for sure. And I think, so are the 49ers, but I think that's a giant hole in their roster, which you had to expect being an undrafted rookie free agent or last pick in the draft.
You saw what an MVP quarterback can do, right? Brock Purdy clearly can't make some of those runs and stuff, and can't it was like he was dancing back there like Lamar Jackson half the time, just like moving around. Like he wasn't even, he did run for some, but it wasn't like he was even doing it all the time. He was just kind of buying himself some time, and then would he's
pocket presence was great in that game and for a lot of the season for sure.
Because you could even see there's a couple plays where he was he stepped up and then he kind of looked behind his shoulder to see if anity was about to hit him, and then just kind of shifted. I was like, shit, he was super impressive. Yeah. Yeah,
no, he was awesome. And he not enough to save my fantasy team. I had Lamar, but I played against. It was in the semifinals or the round before the final. I played against Amari Cooper. I had no shot.
You can't do anything about that.
No shot. But,
that's crazy.
But yeah, I think if the 49ers don't get a lead, if he has to have any kind of comeback in him, they're in trouble. I mean, they have great weapons, great,
Yeah.
but that's a hole for them.
Yeah, you think about it, like he doesn't have to do a whole lot typically.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got obviously one of the best running backs in the game. He's got two very competent receivers. He's got one of the best tight ends in the game, and their defense is just, is typically very good.
Yeah.
So
sure.
and what ends up happening is they get a lead, and then the defense just kind of, crashes and crashes every quarterback. And
no, that's they're designed to win for sure. What's up, Mark? Welcome in.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, that was what killed me in the Eagles game. The Eagles dominated that first quarter, and then they only put 2 field goals up on the board instead of putting in for touchdowns. And that, if you go up 14-0 on the 49ers, much different game than a 6-0 lead.
I agree. Yeah, no, definitely. The other thing about the 49ers too, and maybe some other teams, is you're in a bit of trouble if you don't win very soon, because I mean they are so heavily capped, right? I mean, the amount of players they brought in, they just have a lot of money invested. Yeah, I mean, I know some of them are on 1-year contracts and stuff like that, but yeah, Chase Young, Bosa, all those guys, plus CMC has a lot of money, So it's just like, but it makes sense, you kind of put all your cards in, but
yeah, I don't know what the saying for that is with the fox in the hen house, or is that a saying that makes sense for this?
It is, but I don't think it makes sense for that.
I'm saying like you pay the piper down the road, like they might be really hurting cap wise.
Which is one thing to your. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you got.
I was going to say for the Eagles, I will say that Roseman. Was it Roseman? Roseman.
Roseman.
That's one thing he's done, I think, very well. Like I don't know if he's what he is like as a talent evaluator. He's definitely been good, but he's also like kind of an expert in the cap stuff. Like,
he's a wizard with that.
When to cut people, like who to kind of bring on and stuff like that, and
when to re-up players,
and when to,
a little earlier than he should have often, then but again you got someone like Josh Sweat on a very like cap friendly deal for a pretty great end. Mark, so I just hung this tonight. It's probably a Yale player. It's a bubble glass, convex glass, oval frame. So that is up on my eBay store. So is this photo. These are listed. I just use them as decor in the studio here. Meanwhile, so and actually, I think everything on the shelf behind me is listed too. All right, Andy. So we're going to draft the best football nicknames, and unfortunately, you have the first pick. So let's. Oh, by the way, though, I'm on a 2-0 winning streak. I won the vote last week. The week before, you won week 1, so I'm winning 2-1 overall.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get opinions on week 1, so that doesn't count. But 2-1, I'm winning. Just to put that out there.
I see.
From the get-go.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate you doing
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said before, I love this. I was going through and just trying to you kind of forget how many good names are out there, and there's even ones that you don't even kind of necessarily remember, or I mean, like there's older ones, and there's and then there's the common ones. There's just like names that that I think are almost like ubiquitous with the player. Like,
you know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like you don't even know the guy's real name. It's just
exactly. So
yeah.
That's why it's kind of fun just to go through some of this stuff. I'm already deviating from what I was thinking I was going to do.
The plan's falling apart already.
Well, it's not falling apart, but I'm going to go because just saying about that, the most I think iconic and one that just rolls off the tongue for me is got to be William the Refrigerator Perry.
Yeah,
it's kind of. I mean, it just like I don't think you can say his name. Like I don't think if you said William Perry, you would even know. Like it doesn't. Who's that? It's just like that's the guy who delivers my mail, right? Or no?
Yeah.
No, it's the refrigerator. So
just the fridge, right?
The fridge, yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't even play that long too. Like he was maybe played for a few years.
No, I think he played a lot because he played for the Eagles for a couple years too.
Did he? Okay. Well, he was
career, yeah.
So he was the funny thing about nicknames too that that maybe I'll preface this too. Some of the best nicknames were not the best players by far. And I mean, some people are, there's Hall of Famers that have great nicknames as well. But there are like some of my favorite nicknames are certainly not the best football players or,
Oh no,
or
for sure.
person.
Yeah.
But
and that's the interesting thing about, well, he was a dominant defensive tackle on a great defense, right? So I mean, that's why he had the nickname, and that was a different time. But a lot of times when it's not a great player, you don't get a cool nickname, right? You have to,
right.
I mean, there are some people who don't fit that mold, but I'm sure.
Here's an example, like arguably the best running back in history, Barry Sanders. I don't think he never had certainly not a nickname that stuck.
No. And in fact, at the end of it, I have a couple nicknames. When I was looking at some lists, I'm like, that's a nickname for this guy? I'd never heard of it. There's a few of them like that, which is like horrible nicknames.
No, I same way. There were a couple. I was like, this guy. I never knew this guy is like nobody called him this that I ever heard of. But yeah.
And maybe somebody did one time or something, but it shouldn't be on a best nickname list for sure.
No, for sure.
Yeah, because we're extremely knowledgeable football people. I mean, we don't know it, right? Yeah, at least me.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's a good pick. I definitely had him top 2. I didn't have him number 1, but that's,
I mean, there's another one. I think I know where you're going to go next.
I don't know. I mean, this is a hard list. We might not be like overlapping much, but
maybe
not a great player. Not like a
interesting.
Probably not. Well, he's a good player, but not like a top of his position. It was one of the better running backs at this time. I would say like very late 80s, early 90s. I should have looked up the exact years, but I'm going to go with the Nigerian Nightmare, Christian Okoye.
Okay. He was on my list.
Well, yeah. Just that big bruising running back, which you don't really see now as much. That was more common back then, but.
Well, it was also his shoulder pads were just like over.
Oh yeah, nobody wears shoulder pads like that anymore, right? Exactly. I mean, Herschel Walker, him, the shoulder pads like made the man a little bit back then.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, he was great, and. I mean, obviously, this, but the most not overrated, I guess, the strongest player and the best player in Tecmo football by far.
Oh, I was going to bring up Tecmo. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, but Christian Okoye or Bo Jackson, right? It was one of those two.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot about
Tecmo Bowl or Super. What's up, Roman? How's it going, man? I was just telling Andy about your borscht. I'm not probably going to say that right. Borscht recipe. If anyone wants to know how to cook some borscht, head over to Roman's channel. Borscht. Okay. All right. Borscht.
Yeah. I think.
I'm not. Okay. I'll practice.
Yeah. You can check with Roman, but.
Did you have nicknames when playing sports?
That's
a good question, Beatty. I don't really think I did. No, I mean, we had nicknames. I don't think it was a sports nickname.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you have it? I don't know what your nickname was.
Havoc.
And that was his own given.
No.
Maybe it was like, I think it was not for your sports acumen. It was more your disruptiveness in class.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was a science teacher gave me that nickname.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I was briefly known as, because I think I had chubbier cheeks then. I still probably do, but it was known as it was on my tennis team, which it's not great if we have a nickname of that, but I was like Theodore from the Chipmunks.
Interesting.
It's not great.
I never heard that one before.
I don't think so. Yeah, it was brief. I was
going to go Chipmunk or just Cheeks, but Theodore. It's cool. I'll call you Theodore from now on if you like.
No, I'll pass on that one.
Good question, BD, though. I like that question.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, they're looking. Great. I mean, what's Flacco's channeling his inner Nick Foles out there in Cleveland, right? I mean, what's up with I mean, man, unbelievable that Amari Cooper killed me, as I was saying earlier in the podcast here, but in my fantasy playoffs. But man, some of those passes he made, he was getting tackled by 3 guys, flipping it off to Cooper on the sideline. Unbelievable job by Flacco.
And that defense, you just need a decent quarterback, and Flacco has played far above that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that defense is solid. Yeah, but it's crazy. What's up, Caleb? How's it going, man? Everyone, yeah, guys, check out Caleb's channel, Bible Belt Picker. He's got a great channel. Does a lot of like vintage toys, vintage video games. Great stuff over there. So definitely give him a follow, a subscribe.
But
yeah. So that's a pretty solid start there. Screen? Yeah, let me share it.
Yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it, like I think most of the picks that we'll have on here are going to be both of us will have in some form,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, well, maybe, yeah, we should. I mean, there'll be at least
I think-
most of them.
Yeah. But the order I think is different. I think there's some that are, and I think, I don't know, it's hard for me because I'm like, part of me wants to pick like ones that are like just great names. And I think there's one on your list that I'm almost guaranteed. I don't know. If you don't pick it, then I'll have to pick it in my 5th pick, but I'm pretty sure you like this one. But anyway, we can move on.
See. All right. Yeah. Let me come over here and we'll get into our first segment of the week.
Sale of the week.
All right.
So sale of the week. So in this segment, for people who are just joining us for the first time, we're each going to show 2 sales, eBay or Etsy sales. I'm going to show one first. Andy's going to try to guess the price. The goal is to get within 10% of the selling price. And at the same time, we want the chat to join in, help Andy out because he needs the help over there.
What was that? Do you remember? I can't remember. But thinking back, I feel like I was pretty spot on last week. 2 out of 3, I think was what it was.
Yeah, 2 out of 3. I miscorrectly said you were 3-0, but yeah, you were 2-1. Pretty strong.
Yeah,
so
you let me know as soon as you found out. So
yeah, I did. But probably because you did get a lot of help from the chat. So that
sure, that's what it was. I'm sure that's what it was. Yeah.
All right, so let me share my screen first. Share my screen here.
Bring it on, Havoc.
Yeah. Settle down, Theodore. Settle down.
Don't even start. I should never have said that. All right.
Ignore the background because this is a background I made for my
okay.
Pennant du jour Instagram daily post I make. I got to start doing them again. But so this is a 1969 Super Bowl. It's a phantom Super Bowl pennant. You know what that means, Andy?
I do. Pennant. It means that it did not actually happen. They were not the Super Bowl winners.
Good job. Yeah, you must have learned from watching my channel.
I'm the king of pennants, so
that's,
I know stuff.
That's true.
Actually, that's my nickname now. So
yeah. I didn't know BD was a Baltimore Ravens fan.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
Well,
there we go. Yeah, they're looking strong.
Okay, so definitely. What is this? You know, I will say, Roman, my absolute nightmare is that they play the Rams and Stafford comes in and beats the Lions, and it would just be such a Lion thing to do.
And you're the first guest to help you out there, Andy.
So okay. So
120 from Caleb.
I'll talk through some of this stuff in my opinion. So the fact that it's a phantom pennant, I think, does add considerable value to this. I would say that a normal pennant of this vintage was probably in that range. In that one, I think it would be well over $100 and probably in that 150. I think this is going to be maybe not substantially higher, but I think this is going to be considerably higher. So I'm going to go, and maybe I'm overshooting on this, but I'm going to go 325 is my bet. Is my
325. Guess. So I'll give it a second here to see if we have any last guesses, but we have 120, 139, 129. Oh, here we go. BD at 159.
Okay.
And you were what, 325?
Yeah. Let's see what I have. Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
Looking through to find out if I want. He's doing the math right now too.
No, I got the math.
Dude, somebody's on fire, baby.
I'm shocked. You just got this one. Let me get the screen.
Listen, you don't mess with the king of pennants, buddy. Okay.
Here was the selling price. So that 10% brought it to $329.99. So you just came in at the 325 mark in that 10%. So that's a good guess. Very good guess there.
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but because it's extremely rare, clearly, but they weren't held on to as much, and there were, it's just, and it's also like almost like one of those incorrect cards and stuff too, but.
Yeah, and with these, most of them are destroyed. So,
Yeah.
a lot of these were made by the company, were destroyed when they didn't win, and then a couple get out there. So they're not common. And
Yeah.
Andy, this game? Do you know this Super Bowl? Like the significance of that Super Bowl?
Colts.
There's Colts Jets.
Was that the one that Namath called?
Yeah.
No?
Yes, that's the guarantee, Joe Namath guarantee. So yeah, that probably helps the value too, even though a Jets fan's probably not buying this. Probably definitely helps the value a little bit. So yeah. I'm stupefied yet again. Stupefied
No,
that
you're mispronouncing it. It's just stupid. You're stupid.
No, I'm not mispronouncing
Right.
it. I have a problem with pronunciation, but not that time.
Okay, let me. All right. I'm just going to present my screen. Okay. What do you think about this one? A little tough.
Look at my magnifying glass out.
Sorry, yeah, no,
I'm just joking.
Yeah, I wish you could zoom in a little better, but on this,
I'll show you. I'll tell you how to do that for next time. 1978 golden carry me shaped book lunchbox. What is it? It's like a lunchbox, but it's like a golden book lunchbox.
So what it is, I think, so it's like these different like things that you pull out, and they're like, one of them, a lunchbox, is like a doctor. One of them is like an accountant. It's weird. I don't know. It's a toy, I think, back from then. So
interesting. So yeah, I'm sure this is from the garage, by the way, made the huge garage hall.
Good luck with this one, guys.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of.
Oh man, I got nothing on this one. I'm gonna come up with a guess, but I don't have. So 78. So it's not super old. I mean, it's a little older than both of us, but it's not like it's an antique. But I mean, golden books are collectible. Get some help from Caleb here, $40. That's probably a good guess. I'm gonna go $69.99.
Okay.
69. We have a Mark guessed a $50 price tag there. So you had 40, 50, 69.99 for me, 79.99. So Roman's pretty close to me.
With karate, I'll kick your ass.
I actually took the wrong photo, so I don't have the actual photo of it up.
That's fine.
But it sold for $40. We had it up for
$55. Damn, Caleb nailed it. Spot on.
There you go. We had it up for $55, and we took an offer of $40. So it had been up there for some time.
That's not a good sale.
But it's cool. It was good shape. So yeah.
And on that note, I'm going to before I forget, last week I was going to do a giveaway for a choice of wax packs, and I couldn't get the giveaway in StreamYard to work. So I'm going to give this away this week. It's an 81 Fleer sealed wax pack. What I want to do is I'm just going to manually put people's names in the spinning wheel. About halfway through, I'll draw the winner, and I'll draw another winner later on. So Andy, maybe I'll do is I'll enter the names once you're putting up your screenshot next time. That way I'll have a second to do that. So let me
no problem.
unsquare your screen screen if you can, Andy, and that'll.
Yep.
All right.
If you don't bring another pennant to the party, buddy, because you know it's going to happen.
Oh man, I'll take my chances now. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. All right, it's not a pennant, so that's going to help me, I think.
You've taught me well, though. So.
Yeah. All right, so we have a baseball bat. This is a 1920s Louisville Slugger Al Simmons store model bat. So right. Al Simmons, Hall of Fame player for the Philadelphia Athletics. Later, I think played for the White Sox, some other teams, but mainly known for his time with the Philadelphia Athletics.
What was the age on this one again?
1920s.
Okay.
1920s.
Hall of Fame. Okay. Bats, not my specialty. So I don't think there's anything too crazy about it. Like, I know that you had the Negro League bat that was pretty amazing. I don't know, guys. I might need a little help on this one. This one's tough. I feel like I just don't know if there's anything that jumps out at me. A couple people go 99. I think you're probably in the good range. Okay. We've got a few more coming in. Oh, yeah, nothing's jumping out at me. This is, I can ask a few questions about this, right? Is this game used by them, or do you know? Is there any?
No, it's just store model bat. So this would have been something you bought in the store. And that's a good question. But what I'll say is generally you can tell that when there's a number on the end of the knob. In this case, I think, let me see. Let me look at this was a 35 inch. So this would have had like either a 5 or a 35 on the knob end.
Gotcha. A lot of good ones coming in. I think I'm kind of probably going to split the difference on some of these people, on some of these guesses. I'm going to go with 180. I don't think it's quite. I mean, it's 1920. It's a pretty old bat, but I don't think it's one of those really crazy looking bats or anything like that. I'm probably wrong on this one, but
so 180. So we have a 199, 129, 275, and then $299 guesses. So let's find out how Andy did.
I have a feeling of loss coming my way this time, unfortunately.
Karate, I'll kick your ass.
All is right in the world. All right. Let me pull this one up.
Okay. I wasn't that far off. It was okay.
No. So yeah, but I think Caleb, I mean, Caleb basically got it. I mean, I think the 10%, it was $274.99. So I'll give that one to Caleb. Caleb's 2-0. 2-0 for Caleb.
He's not allowed. Well, yeah, you better start checking out his picks before you start.
Yeah, I need to wait for his guesses.
All right.
I was entering while you were guessing. I was entering names. Let me just go back and see.
Okay. I'll do one more. Do you want to?
Yeah. Do one more, and then we'll do one at the end of the stream as well.
Sounds good.
I think we each had 3.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Hopefully this one doesn't come as quite as small. All right. This one's cool too, I think. How's that look? God, it's still small. All right.
Yeah, we'll talk after that as far as how to get them bigger, but that works. So I know that's obviously a plastic Buffalo Bills helmet lamp, 1970s. I forget the maker on these. It's like a corporation maker on the bottom, right? Generally, do you remember that? I forget what it says.
I don't. It's also not. Yeah, it's not a full size one too. There are full size versions. This is a mini version, so you can sort of tell probably.
Yeah, many. I know these do pretty well. I remember when we found this in the. I still haven't used that footage, but. Well, the full size ones can do very well. I mean, I've sold them. They can bring a couple $100, depending on the team. I mean, I think Caleb is pretty darn close, I think, and obviously I should learn to trust his guesses here or his prices based on his recent success. I was going to be pretty close to that. I was probably going to be a little bit above that because Bills is a team that is always a strong seller. There's some of those teams that you can never really. Let me unshare my screen. You can never go wrong with Bills stuff. Raiders, Eagles, not necessarily Lions, but yeah. Mark is pretty close to where I was going to be. Get MNOP at $59.99. We're all in the similar range. I'm going to guess $74.99. And this is not going to be a cheap piece to ship either. So I'm sure that's factored in on the buyer's end a little bit, but $74.99.
All right. Well, yeah, it's not as big as you think, I don't think. Also,
but they are like 12 inches tall, right? So they're not like with the neck stem.
I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't that big, but
okay. All right, good.
Oh, Richard!
Oh, wow.
Man.
I don't know. Maybe we undershot. We took a quick offer on this, so let me present what we took. Okay. $40.
Okay. So yeah, we had Roman was pretty close with his guess. I mean, we might need to eliminate this segment going forward because this is like losing me all my vintage sport flip street cred here, right? Right? I mean,
Well, yeah. I mean,
no, I'm joking, of course. But I think you. I mean, obviously the Campbell's soup wasn't Campbell's soup. What was that thing? The first thing you showed, it wasn't Campbell's. It was Golden Book.
Yeah. You had no clue about that. Like, that's impossible.
Lose me any sports street cred, but
yeah. So this one, like you said, the large ones were upwards of, I don't know, $200, $250, something like that. The comps on this were not great. I mean, they were okay. I think we even had it up for 55 or 60 maybe.
Yeah.
And took 40 just because we were.
I mean, I would have taken that too. It's the kind of thing that, we have, I know we bought so much in that buy, we don't have to hold out for max dollar in every piece. So that's
exactly
definitely a good price.
So,
all right. So what was the tally there? I got
one. I was 1 for 2 and you were 0 for 2, but I mean, admittedly, the first one I think was just about impossible. Like who the heck would, I mean, right. Unless you really knew anything about it, but
it's not impossible. Caleb nailed it.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the draft here. Round 2. So it's a snake draft, of course. So let me pull up the draft board.
So you are up next. Let's see if you can, I think, again, this is really going to be tough to say unless one of us really kind of goes off the deep end on some weird picks, maybe. I think it's really going to be somebody's preference, like on what. Yeah. I don't think there's very few wrong answers here.
No. You can't. There's nothing that's a horrible answer. I think. I mean, we'll see. And I must say, I think my guesses and those, my heart was still thumping a little bit from having that balloon popped right in my face. I think I really was jarring. I didn't know how jarring it was going to be. I think that affected my guessing, just to put that out there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I should have thought that through before I came up with that little skit. All
right. So let's hear it.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with my second round pick here. I'm going to go green. And this name is sort of multifactorial, which makes no sense, but it's
faceted.
Multifaceted. It's better. Yellow.
There you go.
Or a double meaning. I'm going to go with Concrete Charlie, Chuck Bednarik. I mean, you had obviously a tough 60-minute man playing both sides of the ball, linebacker, center, but also football players at that time period needed to have a full-time job in the offseason to be able to sustain a family or exist. So he worked as like a concrete company salesman, which I think is really where the nickname came from. At least part of the nickname came from that. So Concrete Charlie. I'm going I like to go old school with some of my guesses here.
That's good. It's good. Not the Eagles one I would have thought you were going to go for, which was potentially part of my strategy, was to pilfer your Eagles players. But interesting. I don't know. This one's okay, and it's cool, but I don't know. I don't know if it rolls off the tongue like the fridge or the Nigerian Nightmare,
Yeah, okay. I don't know if people called him that, announcers or anything, right? I think
yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe they did. Probably not.
Okay. Well, pick is a pick. So
strong pick.
Okay. Well, since you went with the Eagles, and I'll go with my boys. In arguable, this is, and I think my goal is to have a couple nicknames that span across time, that have, some from the old, some from the new. This is arguably, I think, one of the best nicknames in the recent era, and that's Megatron. Like,
yeah, that's a good one.
That's one of, I mean, it was so perfect for what he was, because he was essentially just a robot out there. He was, 6'5", ran a 4.35, jumped through the ceiling. The name was given to him by Nate Burleson, who is now an announcer and, does all that stuff.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I like Burleson.
Burleson's smart guy, but he also does morning shows and everything now too. He's pretty all over the place now.
A very well-spoken guy, and he's pretty good.
didn't know if you knew this, but he was later dubbed Recepticon because because of receiving. He was a Recepticon, and he was Megatron Recepticon.
Oh, no, I never heard of that one. That one. That wouldn't have
So
won us the draft.
this is good. This is how good Megatron's nickname is. He was Megatron. He spawned Recepticon. He also spawned somebody else, Greg Zerline. If you didn't know that, his nickname was
Greg the Leg.
No, Legatron.
Oh, really? But then later on became Greg the Leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so he was like who is it? That Troy thing that launched 1,000 ships or something like that. His name was
No, is that the woman? Is that the woman's
yeah,
name?
yeah, Helen of Troy.
Yeah.
So he spawned other nicknames. That's how good his nickname was. So
yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I had that on my list. I didn't put it in my top, in like my order of I was going to draft. Just because I thought you were going to take him. I should have changed that strategy and just stole him from you. But I like Concrete Charlie better. I like to go old school. But I think we're a solid pick so far.
Yep, I agree. Okay, so
all right, let me
2 for 2. I think I'm not sure who we think is winning, but
and speaking of Roman's comment there, yeah, Andy, I was going to congratulate Detroit for for reaching a great milestone, right? A great milestone for the city of Detroit this week in sports, right? I mean, they set the record? They tied the record for consecutive losses.
Yeah, I think I think it's I don't even know what it is, like I don't even know
27. 27. Yeah, I mean, I was going to present that until I saw Roman say that, and hoping you were going to say, "Oh, the Lions clinched the NFC North for the first time in 30 years."
For the Lions to have had to clinch the NFC North, they had to sacrifice, and they made a sacrifice, and now it's the Detroit Pistons. It's fine. I don't care. That's good for me. Pistons won it.
I'm sure he would have taken that trade for sure.
All the time, every day of the week. Yeah, it's brutal. It's crazy too, because I mean they've had high draft picks, and they've had it's horrible.
Yeah,
Cade Cunningham is supposed to. I mean, they're supposed to have a decent team, but they are not good.
It's probably the way to do it, though. You do that for several years, and then it's almost like an unpurposeful process that the Sixers did, right? I think they're just.
I think Detroit was either 1 or 2 in having the top pick, which would have been what is it?
Wembanyama,
who I think probably would have kind of changed the team quite a bit, but
that would have changed it. So you got to get lucky 1 year and you're set.
Yeah, I mean, just every time that they had such a really high, like Cade Cunningham's turned out to be, I mean, I guess he was number 1, but there wasn't a great pick that was supposed to be there. So
yeah, for sure. All right,
not great.
Let me get to this here.
YouTube Spotlight.
All right, Andy. So again, for new people in the chat, the premise here is I'm showing Andy a YouTube channel. He doesn't really watch reselling content or a lot of the YouTube content.
I've started to.
Yeah. So I know he's checking out some of the people in the chat's channels.
For sure.
Yeah. But this channel, this guy doesn't need my help. He's got a massive channel. But Andy, I think you would like this channel. When I found this channel, I found him. He would do cleanouts. He would do a lot of cleanouts in New Jersey, a lot of Atlantic City cleanouts mostly. And I'll just get to the channel here first, and then I'll go to the video. So it's Tucker Upper. Again, it does clean out videos, but it doesn't do that as much anymore. He does like trash picking videos, storage unit videos, pallet buys, non-reselling buys at all. But what I think you would like, Andy, he does a lot of like exploring abandoned property video.
Oh, God, I love that.
Yeah, he did this giant, massive greenhouse complex that was just shuttered for 40 years, and a couple other places recently. I think you would like that content that he does.
Yeah, that's that's definitely a YouTube route I've gone like a dark hole down my past. That's really good. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this one, I was watching this. He sells on Whatnot. He used to. I don't think he does anymore. He sells on an app called Drip, but I bought a lot from him on Whatnot. And in this Whatnot stream, I guess he used to have a stunt show on MTV briefly. I think I could be wrong, but he knows a lot of stunt actors and stuntmen, and this is his buddy. And he did this live on Whatnot. He's about to jump off of the top of his house onto a trampoline, which has a mattress on top of it, which is covered in mouse traps. He did this all on Whatnot, and then later he put it on YouTube. It was like the wildest thing I've seen on Whatnot. So let me get over.
What about? Well, the other thing I remember seeing on Whatnot was that one time when they went nuts on that guy.
Oh yeah, on the New Year Christmas Day, a year ago. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
All right, let's see this. I appreciate the chucks.
Are you loving this?
Yeah, this is gonna be sick.
All
right, you guys ready? Everyone ready?
Ready.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. It's bedtime. Oh!
No way, they're all over him, dude. They're literally on your face, bro.
Dude, that hurt way worse than I was expecting. It's bedtime. Oh!
So yeah.
Oh God.
So
yeah. Are you promising to do that on your next Whatnot? Maybe
no, I'm not. But
all right, I was just wondering.
But yeah, his channel is pretty great. That same guy, he went and they went to West Philadelphia and they like did a stunt dive off of like one of the row homes in West Philadelphia, off of like a 3rd story onto like this giant like bed of cardboard boxes they built.
Yeah.
And just getting up on the roof was like, seemed pretty sketchy. I know you're not a fan of heights.
Nope. Thanks.
But yeah, his channel's great. It's more long form content, but does a little bit of everything on it. Definitely check him out. If anyone does go over and subscribe to him, tell him in the comments that I sent you. He doesn't need a bunch of help from me, but it's definitely a fun channel. But anyway, I was thinking the one thing we should do, we had that in that garage buy, we had that bottle of Howdy Doody grape juice that had 50 years old. We could do something with that. Maybe you drink that. What do you think?
Why am I drinking that? I'm not drinking that.
Yeah, well, you're like, I don't know. You would help out.
Yeah, I'm sure it's turned to wine at this point or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's either that or very, very dangerous.
Yeah, probably very dangerous.
Let me get the draft board up again.
All right. Yeah, well, I don't think anything's helping the Pistons players, but that ship has sailed a long time ago, I think, unfortunately. Okay.
All right. So yeah, you're up with the next pick.
All right. I wasn't sure I really wanted to do this, but they're just two of the best nicknames. So I'm going to go back-to-back Detroit Lions.
Wait, don't say that because I don't even know another Lions nickname.
Oh, you got it.
Give me an era. Can you give me a little bit of a
Ponder?
hint?
It's was he 70s, 60s, or 70s, I think. Late 60s, early 70s.
I mean, the only one I'm thinking is like the linebacker. No, I have no idea.
Joe Schmidt, not Joe Schmidt.
Oh, well, no, I think I do know because I don't. But he played for other teams too, right?
He did.
Okay, all right. I think you know where you're going with it, but I'll let you. But
go. He played primarily, and I think he was best known for Detroit.
Yeah.
So you probably know this now that you thought about it, but that's Dick Night Train Lane. That's probably, I think, one of the coolest nicknames ever. I don't care. Yeah, he played on multiple teams. He did play in the Lions. I think he played on the Cardinals, maybe, and I think he also I'm not sure the other team he played for, but I think he played for the Chicago Cardinals. Now that I think about it, so it wasn't even Arizona back then.
Yeah.
He was a Hall of Famer, like 7-time All-Pro, holds the record. How many interceptions do you think he had in one season? What do you think the record is? He still holds it to this day.
14.
Yes, it's 14.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't look that up.
You can guess well. Too bad you can't guess well on our picks, but yeah, he was probably, I think, one of the not nasty in terms of like being dirty very much. I mean, he was a little bit. I think he had a few things called like the night train necktie where he would like take people's heads off.
Like straight arm
but then,
kind of technique.
it was a different day back then,
Yeah, there's a lot of straight arm stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a couple, I think, ways he got night train. Part of it was, I think he was just a huge hitter. That was one, I guess, origin story of his nickname. I think the other one was he didn't like to fly, I think was the other thing. And he always would take night trains to get to places and stuff like that.
I saw that one too. And that was one of the names we were talking about earlier that, I mean, you probably never heard the name Dick Lane, right? But everyone heard Night Train Lane. So that's, we did talk about that a little early on, that there were a lot of names that the nickname is the guy's name. Right. Yeah. So that's a good one. Yeah, for sure. Let me type it in there real fast.
I mean, I was potentially going with that as my number one. I think that's, it's just it just rolls off the tongue too. Like, I don't know. It's just,
it's a good one. It would have lost you the draft in the first pick, I think. I don't think it's a good first pick, but it's a good pick.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
To each their own, but
yeah. All right, I'm going to go. If you're going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Oh, I know. Okay, then I think I know where you're going on this one, right? Do you want me to, am I allowed to guess? Or we didn't guess from me, but.
Yes, you can go ahead and guess.
I'm assuming it's the Minister of Defense.
It is the Minister of Defense. And I was going to take him in the next pick, but I was going to steal him from me because I think you were thinking of him.
Yeah.
And you were probably taking him above Concrete Charlie.
Yeah.
But the Minister of Defense, I mean, just the whole multifaceted name again, where sort of like led the defense. He was, but also he was a ordained minister, very just pious man. So you got to go with
one of the, I mean, obviously known for being a Green Bay Packer more than anything, but
get the hell out of here.
I knew that would be.
Yeah, you're going to touch a nerve with that one.
Yeah, I mean, we're both from Philly, and growing up, like he was. I don't think we really understood how. I mean, I didn't maybe really understand how good he was, because he's a defensive tackle. I mean, he's huge, right? He was like 270, 280 for back then was big.
But it wasn't really a tackle. He played end because they had it was him and Simmons on ends. They had Mike Golick and
Jerome Brown and
the different years, different combinations inside. But definitely a big end. And obviously a dominant player for sure, but
it wasn't like he wasn't a speed guy. He was like just flat out powerful. Like he was
pure power. Yeah, just with that hook and just throw it.
He never
tackle.
I don't think he ever rushed around anybody. He just threw them from one side to the other.
Yeah, bull rush and power moves or different moves. And I must say I have a little bit of Eagles fan guilt over Reggie, because I was back then I was pretty angry at Reggie for leaving and going to Green Bay.
Ooh, okay.
I do. I've definitely have some guilt there because I remember he had a quote, and Norman Brayman was the owner then. And we should do a topic down the road of the worst owners in sports. I'm not going to tease that pick, but Norman Brayman would be up there, but broke apart a great defense with Reggie and Clyde Simmons, Seth Joyner, Eric Allen. But I remember Reggie when, it wasn't really out in the news at that point, but when he left to go to Green Bay, he said that God wanted him to go to Green Bay, which as an Eagles fan, that cut, God didn't want him to do that. But after the fact, years later, it would come out that Norman Brayman never even made an offer, right? So he wasn't going to stay because he didn't get an offer from the Eagles. So sorry, Reggie. I apologize for that one.
Rest in peace, right? He kind of died pretty young, right? Didn't he?
I remember he died shortly. Yeah, I forget what year that was because
he was probably in his 50s, right? No later than that, or maybe even 40s. I remember. Sad because he was a good guy in the community too. Did he ever come back to Philly at all, or was he kind of?
No, I think he did. Yeah, I think he did. I remember even when they retired his number, that was a home game against the Seattle Seahawks. I was there at that game, but he was obviously he had passed away that off season. But I don't think he had bad blood with the franchise. The new ownership or anything like that.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's good. Yeah, I think he was always you always saw him at in the community and stuff like that, and during the holidays especially too. But he was. But yeah, good pick. I don't know. I would have picked him over if I went Eagles. I can tell you now because my strategy is essentially over. But I was looking for Eagles like kind of picks because I figured I would take it and then you'd have to pivot. But then I was like, I don't know if I'm not going to do that. That I kind of had this,
There's enough picks and there's enough picks in this one. It's not like yeah.
And there really were only two real good, I think, Eagles picks, maybe a few. I mean, like I saw a couple others that were.
There's a couple honorary mentions.
Pretty weak, but yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, well, we can talk about them.
Cool.
All right, let me get to this. All right, Andy, in this memorabilia deep dive, I'm going to go through a type of memorabilia that you might have sold in the large garage buy. I know you probably had some of these, but they're going to be Heartland statues. So mainly football Heartland statues.
But right? Also there are
so there's Heartland made basically three types of statues. They made the rare ones, which are football Heartlands. These are plastic statues from the late 50s, early 60s. The more common ones you see are the baseball Heartlands. Here we have a Stan Musial. He's missing his bat. And then I know Andy had a bunch of Western Heartlands, Western or like famous figures, right? There was like George Washington and
there were
Custer. Maybe I don't know who they're all were in that group, but a lot of Western like Roy Rogers.
Very horse centric.
Yeah, a lot of horses in them. Yeah. So so the ones I wanted to talk about though are the football Heartland statues. They came in two types. You have the running back type, like this guy. This says it would come with numbers that the fan or the kid could apply. Somebody applied the number 25 to this one. That's representing, Andy. Any guess on that one?
Is that the no?
Well-known receiver for the Eagles.
No.
That's all right. Hall of Famer, Tommy McDonald. That's probably what they were going for with that one. Then you have the down lineman, the standing lineman. So that's the other type. Football ones are much better than baseball ones. I'm not going to tell you the price because that might be a topic later on in the episode. But then the rarest of all are the if you get them in a box like this guy, it's still in the original box. You never see this.
Yeah.
If we find these in the garage, I mean, these are gold. These guys.
Yeah.
So
well, I thought there were ones that were linemen or something like that because there was a group that I almost bid on a while back. I don't know if you remember, like probably 6 or 8 months ago, on one of the auction sites, and it was like I think it was like 5 or 6 of them, and they looked a little different than they had.
I think they were Kales.
Oh, you're right.
This is a lineman, but yeah.
No, you're right. It was Kale.
Yeah, those are good too. I'll cover them in a future episode. But yeah, definitely look out for Heartland statues. You see a lot of the baseball players, Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth. The big ones in the baseball set are Dick Rote. He's like the rarest one. Rocky Colavito is a good one, Maris. But they're always a good seller if you pick them up at a flea market or yard sale. But the football ones are the creme de la creme.
Yeah. Well, yeah, several hundred. Or do you not want? You have one coming up later? Do you want to guess? I see.
Maybe, yeah. That's why I want to give you.
I'm guessing. Yeah, I think I know they're hundreds of dollars, but
you got the Mark. That's a good one. Yeah, Ted Williams is a nice one from that set. One of the better looking ones, I think, from that set.
Very cool. All right, are we on to pick number 4, 3,
yes.
4?
Yep. Let me
4.
Yeah.
Who's up? Is this your wrapper?
Yeah, it's me, I think. Let me get to this. Get to the draft board.
Yeah, I think it is you.
Yeah. You picked Night Train Lane. All right.
Oh yeah, no. So it's no. You picked after me. Okay, yeah, you picked.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I'm a vintage dealer, antique dealer. So I like to.
I know what it's going to be. I already know. I can already tell. I already know.
I like to go old school with some of my picks here. I mean, Andy's pretty modern. Well, not Night Train Lane's not modern. I must say you diversified your eras for this one.
Can I guess right now?
No, let me present it. Let me present it because this one, I mean, when this player played in the 20s, in the I would say mostly through the 1920s, most fans were not, there was no television, no televised games. So most fans were either hearing them on the radio, hearing the game broadcast on the radio, but more likely were reading about it the next day in the paper. So nicknames are really going to stick a lot more when you have the Galloping Ghost runs for 4 touchdowns against Wisconsin or against, the Chicago Cardinals, whoever he was playing with, against at that time. So I'm going to go with the Galloping Ghost, Red Grange, with a time with University of Illinois, and then later with the Chicago Bears. So that's why I think, because of the time period, the nickname gained a lot more notoriety. It was a movie. It was all kind of
not the one I thought you were going to pick for some reason.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, but I that was on my list. I feel like that definitely could have been on there too. I mean, I'm not surprised that you went that route. Okay. Now we're in some interesting territory. This is I don't know if I think I'm going to go another 70s player. And there are a couple good 70s players. Again, it was just their names, honestly. Like, you don't say their names anyway. Maybe you said this guy's name by itself. But I'm going to go with my 4th pick, Mean Joe Green, member of the Steelers, the Steel Curtain, correct? Yeah, I think that's right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a great, obviously, defense. They had, the defense even had its own nickname. So, but Mean Joe Green, like, I don't think anybody calls him, like, nobody called him Joe Green or anything like that. He was always Mean Joe Green. Like, there's never anything but Mean Joe Green. Kind of like, I think, Night Train Lane as well. You're right. People called him Calvin Johnson, obviously, and but yeah, I think that's
that's a good one. It's a good one. It's one of those names where you don't, like you said, the announcer is going to call him that, or it was called that more than it was called Joe Green. Or Joe Green's Joe Green's a bit of a blah name. When you got Mean Joe Green, that rolls off the tongue a little bit better.
It's also just like some of these names. It's not like getting silly. Not silly. It's not being weird or not. Megatron's great, but it's like, he's Mean Joe Green. Like, he's just mean. Like, there's no, like, it's not trying to be cutesy with his name. He's just, gonna, like, who would you rather, would you get in the dark alley with, Mean Joe Green or Concrete Charlie? I think Mean Joe Green personally, but
I don't know.
Although the rest of yours are a little like the Nigerian Nightmare. I don't know if I'd want to meet him in the dark alley.
And
the Galloping Ghost.
I mean, Benerick was a tough dude, man. I don't think you're. I mean,
but Concrete Charlie sounds like he's my neighbor. That
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you mean the nickname, not the guy. Okay. Yeah.
He's the guy that put in my my walkway. Concrete Charlie.
Yeah, I guess the Galloping Ghost is not a fearsome nickname either, right?
Well, I mean, the ghost part, I guess, but yeah. Anyway.
I think we're a nice strong list so far. All right.
I mean, one of us does, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. One of us does. I agree with you. All right, give me 1 second here.
Find of the week.
All right, Andy. I don't think you have a find of the week, but I have a find of the week. So in my latest video, I bought this like little Sears catalog. This is not the find of the week, but I just like this because I saw a lot of vintage clothing, and it has a ton of vintage clothing in it, including a bunch of hats I've never seen before, including this hat right here, this model hat. Until like 2 days later, when I bought that catalog, I found the hat, a dead stock hat. Okay. I found the hat on eBay, and where the hell they? Dead stock with the tags. I cut the tag off right before the show and popped it on. I lost the tag already. I don't know what the hell I did with it. But so that's the one find of the week. Nice. So
what would you call it? Is there a name for that one, or like?
They just call it AJD NFL Pro Line. But I've never seen that hat out before. I've never seen it anywhere. So in fact, I found it.
I don't know if it's my favorite looking hat, but
I like it. I like the black. I like the black is a.
Well, I'm just saying, like the stenciling on the front. I can.
Yeah, it's got a different look. It's got more of a high bill too, which is a cool look.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can pull off. You know if you can pull off my style.
Yeah. No, few can, and few.
And speaking of that,
and even fewer try.
No, a lot of them try. But Eddie, speaking of that, before I get to my second find, you want to do what we're wearing because obviously I've covered part of that. But what is your? We already talked about your jersey earlier, I think.
A little bit, but we're in honor of the Lions going to the playoffs and also winning their divisions for the first time since 1993. And Barry Sanders. This is actually, I feel like this is the biggest jersey you could ever. I mean, this is like this must be a 50, not 58 or something. I think you may have
draped.
Yeah, I think it's the only Barry Sanders jersey I actually have, which is a little weird, but
yeah.
I think you may have even found it or something and probably got it for $20 or something.
Potentially, yeah.
So, that's
around with the Barry Sanders jersey.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly probably will end up hanging this at some point rather than wearing it. It's not a
And speaking of Barry Sanders, the YouTube channel we showed, the one with the guy flipping onto the mouse traps, in that auction and whatnot, I bought a sick Detroit Lions Barry Sanders crew neck. So that was a cool.
There you go.
Yeah, I did sell it. But I got on, this is a Cliff Angle, like an 80s Cliff Angle Eagles sweater.
Oh, yeah.
Super comfortable. And you should pick up a Lions one of these. These are so comfortable. Classic.
How much do they go for?
I mean, the Lions cheap. Eagles, I would say 100 to 140, probably something like that. Yeah. Lions, you probably
dime a dozen.
Dime a dozen.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely the script in that a little bit. Yeah. Andy, do you want to, before we go into a sale of the week and the draft, do you want to do, you were talking about showing, given that before you do that, let me just draw the giveaway because I know Caleb had to leave, but let me share my screen to that because I think I put everyone in the chat. So guys, I'm going to give away 81 Fleer sealed wax pack. So let me, so while we're in here, I put everyone's name. I think that I saw in the chat. Let me just double check. I got everyone. Well, I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Let's see.
Got Mark. Do you got Mark Oil? Yep.
Yeah, maybe I did get him.
Yep. I think you're good.
All right. So, I'm going to draw
at least
this,
all those that have made their presence known.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I can't go if they didn't make their presence known. I'm
correct.
All right. So we're going to spin this, and I will reach out to you or reach out to me on Instagram, the winner. Let's see here. Oh, wow. It's down to the wire there for MNOP Payette. So if you're still here, MNOP, send me a message on Instagram, Vintage Sport Flips on Instagram. I'm not sure if I follow you or you follow me over there, but send me a message. I will I'll respond back. We can get your shipping info and I'll get this in the mail to you. Congratulations. It was
so nice that you made Anytime Picker, since he's such a Lions fan, the color of the Lions. I'm sure.
That was pure accident. Pure accident. All right, so Andy, you talked about, given that we're holiday season here, you wanted to show like past gifts that we've gotten for each other. We don't share gifts every Christmas. We're not. I mean, obviously,
in fact,
not many men friends do that, right? But
in fact, there's a classic story. This may have been a birthday thing. I forget exactly what it was. Many years ago, Keith hates me to tell this story, but I think it was my birthday, and we got gifts for each other or something like that.
Do not tell the story.
Wait, should I tell the story?
I don't think you should tell it. I don't think you should tell the story.
Come on, it's good. It's a good story.
I don't think it's good. There's a lot of humor in this story. You have to present it in a humorous fashion.
Well, I mean, it wasn't. It's not that funny, but you were selling it a little high. But yes, okay. So
no, I'm saying we were joking. It was a joke, but that's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. It's a joke to some of us. So I forgot what it was. I think it was a birthday, maybe it was Christmas or something. I don't know. So I had gotten him a gift and I forget what it was, like $20 or something like that.
I don't
And,
remember.
and the gifts don't really matter that much, but he had got me, if not the same gift, it was a very similar gift with the similar pricing. So it was like both gifts were $20. But then I think he also got me a book that was like a bartender's manual, like a bartender's guide, if you remember those from back in the day. And he essentially sent me an invoice and said he wanted another $5 gift or $5 back because
that's true. I don't think that's true. I don't.
It's so true.
There was some joking back and forth. No,
why would I make that up?
There's some vague truth to it, but it was like a joke. But anyway, yeah.
So essentially,
I almost removed you from the stage during that story.
He almost sent me an invoice for the $5 book that he bought that was above what I got him. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. So you want me to start first?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. I have to step away for a second. So keep everyone entertained.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining, Brandon. Yeah, well, that's cool. Shooting a bow and arrow with your daughter. That's cool. I've never done that. Little archery action.
It's not coming through very well.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. You might have to go. Well, let's not. You don't have to worry about it. But unless you can change your settings to get rid of your background, that's all right. Yeah, the magic background's gonna. Well, just explain what it is there. Oh, that's better.
I think I need a better background, but
yeah, that's gonna work. That. Oh.
This is not going well.
That's right. It might not work.
There we go.
There we go.
It's about as good as I can get. So this, you have to explain it because you got it for me.
Yeah. So I have an Eagles one. That's a I'd say late 50s, early 60s. Like they made these giant felt emblems that were sold and you could sew them onto blankets. Mainly they were made to sew on giant like varsity blankets. And I bought a group of these that were never sold or never attached to anything. And I got that one framed up for him and sent it to Andy. I don't know why I gave it to you, what the occasion was.
I don't know what that one. This one, if you can see this one, maybe this is a little better now. Can you see it at all? No, you can't. That sucks.
No, I see it's Barry Sanders lithograph or poster.
Barry Sanders. It doesn't come through very well, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was
that one. I think you got me for your wedding. I'm pretty sure. I think.
Yeah, might have been the other one too. I don't even know.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
can't
sure.
remember.
Yeah, and then this year Andy got these for me. These custom. I'll show you the custom Nike Dunks, but they have vintage sport flips, custom VSF on the back there. So in the vintage sport flips colors. So very cool gift. I wore them on Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you very much for them.
Yeah. I do expect a little bit of money back that.
Yeah, we'll even it up. Yeah, we'll figure that out. And the other find of the week for me was this for the collection, not a resale piece, but a great vintage Eagles starter duffel bag. You don't see starter stuff too often, or at least not a duffel bag. But that's called a starter arch, Andy. That logo there. So if you ever see that, hats with that arch are very very popular hats.
I will not be wearing. I do have a Matthew Stafford jersey, but I will not be wearing it if they play each other in playoffs. I can assure you of that. That would be, yeah, it would. If they do beat the Lions somehow, then I will root for them to go forward. But that's about it. Okay,
I'm going to share the draft screen here.
Sounds good. All right, so it's my last pick.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a lot of. I don't know what to go on this one. I kind of want to go with one. This is the one that I was gonna go with. It's a little bit. I think you liked him. Maybe not. Maybe you think of somebody else that really liked this person, but I think it was you. He was around for a short time. He was not like he was probably maybe 3 or 4 years, a fantasy stud kind of in those years.
I think I know who you're going here because I did like him. If I'm thinking the right guy.
Okay.
Not a long career, I don't think.
Yeah, did not have a very long career. He had one of the coolest nicknames. It's not one that like flows off the tongue very, very much, but it sort of fits him to the ultimate T. And that's the muscle hamster, Doug Martin.
Well, not who I was thinking of. Not who I was thinking to go with. But yeah, no, obviously not a great player, short career, but a cool nickname, just a funny nickname, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
he was like he was tiny, but like he was just like the most jacked small running back you've ever seen.
Yeah, that's I like the pick. I was thinking about going with that for my 5th pick as well. But what I will say is who I thought you're going to guess for some reason, and I didn't think of this guy until now. Not that I'm making him my pick, but the Natron Bomb. Natron memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool nickname. I never even thought of that until you started leading in with that.
Yeah,
that was a pretty cool nickname. Not that
I forgot. Yeah, I didn't think about him either. Yeah,
yeah.
Muscle Hamster, I think, for a while was pretty hot. Like most people were kind of on top of that one.
Yeah. Muscle Hamster's good.
All
right. Well, I'm going to go sort of a similar vein, and not a longer career. And it was a little hard for me because it was a team at a time, a team that I really disliked. As an Eagles fan, there's some teams I'm going to be honest, it's more about the fan base that I disliked, that their whole 12th man, they adopted this 12th man. They call themselves the 12th man. That always sort of bothered me because there's a lot of, in my opinion, stronger fan bases, including Philadelphia. But I always disliked that team for whatever reason. I don't know why. Not anymore. I mean, I dislike 49ers a lot more than the Seahawks.
Who the heck?
I'm gonna go with Beast Mode.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Beast Mode. And it's a pretty cool nickname. It's not, again, similar to Muscle Hamster. It's not a name that flows off the tongue. You don't like a Beast Mode around the end, running down the 20-yard line. It's not like said in the flow of the game, probably, but it is a tough runner, a tough. They also have the Beast Quake. Is that the run he had?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So
yeah, I was weird because I never really I don't know. He never came across as like that being him. Like, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, clearly, yeah, it's a good a good name for sure.
His style of running too, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. We should, so did you want to talk about anything else or did you want to, I mean, there's a bunch more that I was wondering, we can talk about too, that I think
yeah, let's do one more sale of the week and then we'll circle back just to our honorary mentions and then we'll be done.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Crazy Legs Hirsch. That's definitely a good classic one.
That's who I thought you were going to take for a Galloping Ghost.
Yeah, Grange is a better player. Grange is sort of, in my opinion, Grange was a huge factor in like elevating football to what it was at that time. I mean, it became like a national sensation. So I sort of err on players like that. I think I did that.
We're looking at nicknames, baby, nicknames. Crazy Legs.
A lot plays into that too, right? Like the nickname sort of, I don't know, had a role in developing football as it is. I feel
true. I'll give you that. All right, let's see here.
Yeah,
let me go 3. Let me go 2 for 3 again.
Did you go 1-1? Yeah, you went 1-1. Okay. All right, I think you know where you're going here because I teased this earlier.
Yeah. Okay. Philadelphia Eagles. Plastic. Okay. I've been burned by these because we have a lot of these in the horse genre, I guess is what you call them. But I know they're so much more expensive in the football thing.
Some if you have any boxes, the boxes in the horse genre, the Western theme can do still very well. But they're not in the same vein of football.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I think Marks has got a good. It's a good number, but I think I'm gonna go a little bit higher. Maybe I'm gonna go 295, and that may be overshooting. I think Mark might be right in that 250 range, but I'm gonna stick with my gut here and go 295.
295. Let me see. That was check the guesses here.
260.
I'm glad you're getting some work done over there, Roman. Thank you for listening and watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see how Andy did. Let me figure this out here. Let's see.
It's got to be close because he's got to do some figure. He's got to do some math. And we know how your math skills are. I was close though, right?
You're close.
Yeah.
Let me get to the other screen.
I think it's lower than I said, probably, right? I think, yeah. I knew it. I knew I should have gone 250, I think.
Yeah. Mark nailed it. I mean,
yeah.
Mark was within the 10%.
Yeah. No, you're right. I knew I should have gone that. I think I just overshot just because if it was the Lions, it probably would have sold for probably 300 or 400. But
I mean, to be honest, I wonder. That's a good point, though. I wonder if recent success will, show itself in memorabilia in the past. I mean, I've sold a ton of Lion stuff this season, but historically, Lion stuff would never sell. So, I mean, I'm hoping.
So that's why you got me all those gifts from.
Yeah, I couldn't get rid of them. Right, send them to Maryland.
Oh, all right. So let's go. For those that were here previously, this was on my list of pennants that I put on. So this is like 3 weeks ago, I think. That's when I put it up.
I think 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago, maybe. Okay. So what do you think?
All right. So remember, this was the Texas League, Beaumont Golden Gators. So, I mean, as we talked about in last week, the minor league teams, the funk stuff can do very well. This is a cool graphic that always helps too. And you got a cool, it's not like just a baseball and, some generic looking pennant. Cool color. I'm going to go $99.99. $99.99. Yeah. If you're looking for one of the successful ones over there in the clip section.
They're harder to find, but
oh.
All right.
With karate, I'll kick your ass.
Sorry, bro. I was looking for a different one. You see, the problem is we've won, like all of yours. I just do the same ones over and over again.
I have to work on some new ones.
You never get them right. So I have to constantly use them. Yep. Unfortunately, you were wrong about that. I can understand where you were going with that because we had a couple of those that sold last week. I think that you had missed on.
The Amarillo. I forgot the team there.
Yeah. And that is the sale price, $50.
$50. All right. Yeah, so I did overshoot it. I mean, what was your listing at?
I think it was $50.
All right. Okay.
Maybe a little bit higher, but yeah, no, the comps there were several like this out there.
Okay. Yeah, it can't be. You're paying 75 cents for a pennant to flip it for 50.
No, I know.
I do that all day.
Yeah. So.
And while we're on the topic, MNOP, I did get your message on Instagram, so I will shoot you back, and we'll get your address and get your pack out in the mail to you. That's the first year of Fleer, by the way. So that's a cool vintage pack.
Yeah.
All right, Andy. So let's do some honorary mentions.
We got a few minutes, maybe a few minutes more. We can run through. I mean, because there's so many. Honestly, I think we could have easily done 10 each.
Yeah.
And that may even, but it gets a little bit worse at the end there, but so this is part of my thought process was, again, the Eagles. I'm surprised you didn't take this one because I think this is one of your favorite players back in the day. His brief stint on the Eagles. Well, not brief, but he was stint on the Eagles. That's Javon Curse.
I had him on my list. Yeah.
The freak.
That's a good one. The freak. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised you didn't go that route. Because
speaking of that, Javon Curse, he loved such that he was a player ahead of his time. That long, speedy. You didn't see a lot of ends like that at that time period. A lot of them were stocky, bull rush kind of guys. The other thing weird with that nickname is I saw on one list they had Randy Moss listed as the freak. I never heard that nickname for him.
Yeah,
the freak is Javon Curse.
Yeah, that's kind of what I always thought too.
Yeah.
Let's see some others.
There's a couple good Eagles ones though. I'll pop out there real fast. So obviously the freak, but also you remember Reynolds' nickname?
Reynolds,
Randall Cunningham.
Oh, Randall. No, I don't.
The ultimate weapon. That was that. That was his nickname. They had that on Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
a better one, Brian Dawkins. You know,
B-Doc?
Well, yeah, that's true. B-Doc I didn't really, Weapon X.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay,
B-Doc,
so
B-Doc probably be a good one.
One that I can't believe neither one of us took was Sweetness.
That was a lot of like top of the list that
that's a good one too.
It's just not a tough nickname, right? It's a cool nickname.
It's not, but it was kind of another one I would say was Prime Time. That was another one.
Well, yeah, and I
because you would have hated. I know you didn't pick because you don't like them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, plus what we talked about for the next week doing the most hated athletes. I don't want to get too much into that, but to be honest, in my heyday of hating Dion, I don't hate Dion anymore. I mean, I like him as a Colorado coach or whatnot, he wasn't known as Primetime in those early times. You remember his nickname that I remember him as?
No. What was that?
Neon Dion.
Neon Dion. Yeah, I guess true.
That was what I always felt people called him. And then later on, I think towards, his Dallas days, after he left Atlanta, left
probably
the Braves. Yeah, they went with Primetime.
We didn't go with Jerome Bettis, the bus. That's a good one.
But when I did our thumbnail, I did I don't know if you saw it. I did an early thumbnail. I changed a couple times, but I put out different graphics. I had Megatron, the bus, Concrete Charlie, two other ones.
Interesting.
Okoye, and one other player, the Fridge. So those are the five I had up there.
Yeah. All of which most were taken, right?
Yeah. The other couple good ones that I think, the Honey Badger.
Honey Badger's on the list. Yeah,
that's similar to a muscle hamster kind of name, right? It's a cool one.
How about that? I got another idea for you too. We just while we're doing this, I'll give you the nickname and you tell me the player.
Okay. Or vice versa. Yeah. Either way.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's try Touchdown Tommy.
Touchdown Tommy. Is it Tommy Vardell?
Correct. Yes. So I will tell you my other idea was to weight this with Cleveland Browns players so that I could get
that's smart.
Roman.
That's smart. You're trying to appease the audience.
Hacksaw Browns. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. How about I'll give you another one. How about the Albino Rhino?
Albino Rhino. I don't want to look at the chat. I'm going to try to look away from the chat. I
didn't really hear this one very often.
Never heard of it, but give me a position. Can you give me that?
Running back.
Mike Allstott.
No, but close.
Yeah,
Cleveland Brown. Sorry. He was on the cover of a Madden game.
Michael, Cleveland Browns.
Running back.
A white running back for the Browns?
There you go. Think about it.
What? Who do you think about
it? No. Well, how many white running backs do you know?
I can't think of any white running backs. Was he like a big fullback?
Peyton Hillis.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Was he on the Broncos too?
I think eventually. I think he got traded. Yeah. So there you go. There's two Roman picks for you that I didn't do.
I'll give you one. Okay. Well, this one's actually not the too easy one to give you. I just say this. You're gonna get the. I'll just give you the nickname. You give me the player.
Okay.
Slash.
That was that Cordell Stewart?
Yeah, Cordell Stewart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that vaguely.
And this one's gonna be too easy. I'm trying to think which way to do it.
Cordell Stewart was. I mean, I don't think he was really deserving of a nickname. Like, I don't know. It wasn't great.
He played multiple positions, right? I mean,
did he? I mean, he's just a quarterback that
in the beginning he did.
Okay.
In the beginning, then he became their full quarterback, I believe. Craig Hayward.
Yeah, Ironhead. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that should have made the list. That's a pretty.
Yeah, he was on my list for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one for you that you may or may not know. The Pillsbury Throwboy.
Pillsbury Throwboy. All right, I'm gonna guess it's not a big name quarterback.
This should have made my list now that I think about it.
The only player I can think of for this, not a great quarterback. He had like a few-year career, somewhat rotund fella. Was it Jared Lorenzen?
It was.
All right. Because I remember, yeah.
He had more good nicknames, I feel like, than many, because he was the Pillsbury throw boy. He was also the hefty lefty, which was great.
I know, because he was Matty Ice is a good one. I would just remember seeing him on the Eagles games on the sideline for the Giants.
Yeah,
You could spot him from across the field. Yeah. My seats are on the Eagles sideline. You'd see him on the bench on the other side. He
ended up playing for some arena league team, and he was over 300 pounds, like 325 pounds.
That's wild.
He was still pretty good, though.
Yeah. How about this is a good nickname, but we should have got it on the list. The Polish powder keg.
Is that was a kicker, right? Was that Sebastian Janikowski?
Yeah, or Seabass.
Yeah,
that would have been that should have been.
I don't know the Polish powder keg. I don't know if I ever knew it. That was his nickname.
I heard that a lot back then.
Okay, all right. How about this? Lights out.
I'm thinking like a safety.
Okay, talk me through it.
Safety. I mean, I was thinking it's like Jack Tatum, but I know he had a different nickname.
Jack Tatum was the assassin, I think. Right?
Yeah. I'm thinking like someone on Denver, like Steve Atwater, but that's not going to be it. That's going to.
It's not. It's probably. I think it's a good idea, and I don't think Steve Atwater ever had a good nickname, which he should have because he was the hardest hitter in the game.
Yeah,
it's actually Sean Merriman. Do you remember him?
Oh, really? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I know him because he went to Maryland. I don't know if I was there at the same time or not, but yeah, Lights Out. He was always known in Maryland as Lights Out Sean Merriman, which is kind of an awesome name. I mean, when you think about it, like he just knocks people out. That's one. I think that's actually a really good nickname, but I just didn't. He's not kind of that well known, I guess, as a nickname. Let me see if there's.
Yeah, probably for you. I never heard of it in the pros, but probably coming out of college, that was.
He was definitely in the pros. I mean, when he was on the Chargers.
I never heard it then.
Oh, really? Yeah. No. I probably didn't see a ton of his games either, but
no. I got a nickname here that, like, you tell me if you ever heard this for this player. But you ever hear the nickname the Sheriff?
Yes, I have. But I think it's stupid. Because I don't think it makes any sense. It's Peyton Manning, right?
Yeah, I never heard that.
I want to say I did. I don't know why. And it wasn't. I mean, I think I saw it in some of the nickname stuff, but yeah, it wasn't. It's probably the lamest nickname for him. I mean, it's got to be better when, like, I don't know.
And then the other one for Jim Kelly.
I mean, if anything, it's called like Five Head or something like that.
Yeah. How about Jim? You ever hear the Jim Kelly one? I never heard that.
I did in researching. I did see that. I thought it was stupid too.
It's ridiculous.
Machine Gun Kelly or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that's. I don't think that was ever said back then.
Here's another one for the Maryland people, though. Do you remember T Sizzle? You know who that is?
We're talking football.
Mm-hmm.
For Maryland. I mean, it's University of Maryland.
Well, no, not Maryland, but just the area. Yep.
So it's either Baltimore or Washington.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's the defensive end linebacker, right? What the hell is it? Terrell Suggs.
Yep.
Okay.
He was kind of well known for saying that on the thing.
Yeah. Ray Lewis have a nickname?
I don't think he did. I was wondering about that, but he was T Sizzle from Balls So Hard University.
Okay. Yeah,
that was pretty cheesy, but
usually like linebackers have a lot of nicknames, but that's surprising he didn't. Maybe he did have one. We just don't know it.
Yeah. Last one I'll say for you, and this is not one that you can pick, but Deacon Jones I thought was another cool one too. That was like his name was David, but like I don't think he's ever named Deacon, and nobody ever called him anything but Deacon. But
and the same way with Ed Too Tall Jones.
Yep, he was on my list.
That's not a great nickname, right?
It's not, but like you're right. I don't think anybody ever knew him other than that. He's 6'9".
Anybody call him Ed Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 6'9". Did you know that? That's crazy.
I didn't know how tall he was, but I wonder who the tallest player was. I mean, I don't know if it's
probably some
the
tight
tallest
end or something. Close to it. Anyway, cool.
Yeah. Well, that was definitely, I think, a good draft. But let's throw the draft board up there, and we'll be signing off here shortly. But so we're gonna do it again next week, same time, 8:00 p.m. Eastern time. I think, Andy, do we decide on that, doing the most hated athletes, or do you want to do like a best sci-fi fantasy movie? Or we can, what do you think? Or maybe people in the chat, what do you guys think?
Yeah,
news?
maybe if anybody has any ideas, put it in the chat. We have obviously a kind of a stockpile of stuff that we can go
Yeah.
with. But
Yeah.
if there's anything you guys, that are watching this or really want to think would be fun, let us know. And maybe we'll post something.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Well,
next
if
couple
that's the case, we'll probably have to take 5 or 6 weeks off. So we got to go into February.
We'll see. We'll see about that one.
Yeah.
But all right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you guys for popping in, and we'll see you next week. 8 o'clock.
Thanks, guys.
Have a happy new year.